Hello, crafty friends. This is the Paper Chef here. Welcome to part 4 of the Beautiful Balloons Workshop series. In this series, we create lots of birthday and congratulatory cards and 3D projects. This is part 4, where we'll be creating tonight, this diagonal easel fold card. Okay, let's get started. You're going to need, I'm just going to show you a couple of these. I'll show you the rest in a little bit. You're going to need a long piece of cardstock. So I would recommend, because I'm thinking it would be fun to play around with a couple kinds of designer series paper that came in your workshop kit. We're going to be using the Bright and Beautiful designer series paper, of course, because that's part of the suite that this is Beautiful Balloons bundle is a part of. And then we're going to play around with some Fresh Freesia, which is not only a coordinating color of this paper, but it's also one of the coordinating colors in Delightfully Eclectic designer series paper, which I included. For those of you in the US, you can get kits from me, and I included some of this in your kit. So I thought it'd be fun to just use some of this paper too. I haven't done the card with this paper, but I've done lots with this paper. All right, so let's get started. If you'd like to order this bundle, you get it right here at my Stampin' Up store. Okay, so this is the Delightfully Eclectic designer series paper. So you can see how it has Fresh Freesia in it. We'll decide what patterns in a little bit. Let's start with the card base itself. And the reason I did this card, the reason I have so many of these, and the reason I'm doing this video right now is because by the time I do my next part of the series, I'll probably have mailed these off. These are going to be what's called a swap card. And I'm going to be getting back lots of cards from my team. So maybe I spoiled this for some team members, but hey, I wanted to teach you how to do it while I have them here in my possession. So I had done a bunch of cards in a different swap, and I worked on cards like this, and they were already folded. Well, actually, this is a different one. Let's see. I think the ones that were folded vertically. Yes, these I was working on for a different swap, but I had already put the paper on them. And by the way, definitely if you're going to cover up a piece of your designer series paper, cut out the middle first so you can save paper, right? Or get the most out of your paper. So I had a bunch of these already done, and then I had a bunch that didn't have this piece of paper on them, but they were already cut. So I was like, oh. And my hand was hurting, and I had this issue with my hand, but let's not even get into any of that. But I was like, what can I do that's really easy? Like, how can I turn all these cards I had already made and folded, and I had all these pieces of, into another card, because the fun fold is the requirement of the swap that I'm doing. In other words, this wouldn't have gone, this wouldn't fly. This is not a fun fold. This is a typical A2 card. And although it had, pretty cool embossed piece on it with some Lost Lagoon. Let me bring my light in a little closer. It still didn't constitute a fun fold. It has to be stand up. So then I thought, I'm going to turn these into another kind of card. So I trimmed off the edge and et cetera, and that's how it was born. The idea was born. So let's go ahead and get these simply scored, and we're going to score in half. So we're going to take the 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, and we're going to use Berry Burst and Fresh Freesia. But Berry Burst is going to also be used for another card. So save a piece of it. Don't make 2 cards right now, because later we'll be making this card, and I think this looks good with Berry Burst as well. You can go ahead and use your whole piece of Fresh Freesia if you want. But, I mean, hey, it's up to you. You have more than enough supplies that you need. So we're going to go ahead and score it 5.5. Okay. I'm going to do that again. I'm putting it in horizontal orientation, where the paper is 11 inches across, so that I'm scoring it in half at 5.5. Okay, now let's go ahead and get this out here. So we could, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and make the cards first, because I'm not going to use them all. I'm just going to use one of each. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this card in half. Let's see. Let me turn the trimmer. I'm using my Stampin' trimmer now. And I'm going to go ahead and cut the card in half. So we're going to have 4 1/4. Then we'll just work with one card, and I'll write down all the measurements for you. Okay. So we have 11 inches by 4 1/4. I'm saving this card for later. I'm not going to use it right now. And I'm going to save one of these for later as well. So we're going to make 2 cards tonight. So 4 1/4. All right. So that's the Berry Burst. All right, so the next thing I wanted to do is I wanted to be able to make a square. So before we do any folding, I was thinking, I want to be able to make this easy for me. because I think triangles are easier to cut, like when you have a perfect square. And so I wanted to make this section into a square. So it made me need to get 1.25 inches off of this section here. Okay, so I needed to get 1.25 inches off. And then those little pieces I saved for whatever reason. I'm not sure what I'm doing with them yet, but I ended up having a whole pile of these. And of course, they're going to be able to be used for another project. So bottom line is you're going to take your card and you're going to lop off 1.25 inches. Okay, so let's go ahead and lop off 1.25 inches. And okay, save that over there, and we're going to do the same thing over here. So now you're left with a square. What do I mean by square? On the front panel of the card, you have a square. You have like a 4.25 inch square in this little section. That's the front of your card. Okay, so that's nice. So that's what we have. And now, and of course, by the way, you can score with the with this trimmer. The trimmer does have scoring blades, and we even sell them in 2-packs now. But I prefer to do all my scoring with my Simply Scored. All right, so let's do this. Let's write down some things before we get too far. Okay, so we have our measurements. Let me just use one of these. I'm just going to use the other side of the one that we just used. If you missed my last tutorial, we did a really fun treat pouch. So go ahead and check that out. So I'm just going to use the other half of this. This paper to save that. Let me find the pen. All right, so we started out with a card that's kind of like that, right? And so it's 9 3/4. So it's 9 3/4 in length, right? And it's 4.25 inch high. So this is if you're just doing one card, but you saw how I did it. I make 2 cards at once. Always make 2 cards at once. Save yourself time, 9 3/4. Okay, and then you're going to score. You're going to score it at 5.5. Okay, so score. Okay, so you're scoring in at 5.5. So you got 4.5 high and 9 3/4 wide. So now you want to take this part and you want to score diagonally. So you're so you're going to take this part and you're going to score diagonally. So let's go ahead and do that. And I have a little trick for you. And this is just a little trick that, you just sort of teach yourself tricks, right? That doesn't sound good, does it? Teach yourself tricks. All right. I put a little piece of tape here because what happened is I kept on losing the place down here. So I wanted to I just was using the 7-inch mark. You can use any mark you want, but put a little piece of tape on. This tape wasn't very sticky, so I just put another piece of washi tape on here. So you want to make sure you don't lose the groove. I tried using a toothpick, but the toothpick wouldn't stay in the groove. Get into the groove. I couldn't help it. I have to do a Madonna song. So you want to make sure that you want to meet this part up with this part. So I need to make a score line diagonally, but I want to put this up in the groove of 7, and I want to meet it. That's going to end, my line's going to end right there where I put my tape. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. And voila, perfect every time, as long as you put that tape on your Simply Scored. Okay, and then so that's your diagonal fold, and then you're just going to fold it like that. And let me get my spatula. And don't worry, I'm a teacher. I teach everything twice, or even more than twice. And I have entire card making workshops that are several hours long. If you want to learn how to make all kinds of different folds, I have one on easel folds and gate folds. And I go through every step of the way in separate videos. So that's all you're doing for that, is you're just making that. And then, of course, this part, again, you can use the spatula for this part as well, just to help you burnish the edge. So that is your fun fold, and that is all there is to it, right? But now we're going to do all the other part. Stamping, decorating, making our triangles, making our panels, right? So that's all there is to it. It's an easy fold. And what's really nice about this kind of card is it showcases 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and if you 6, 7 different, 8 different little pieces of Designer Series paper can be showcased in the same card. All right, so if you want, you can, what I did, because I had all my cards made already, is this side was already burnished for me before I even made the diagonal. Okay, so you're going to turn this, you're going to open up your card, and you're going to put it on. I'm just happen to use a 7-inch mark. I'm not writing that part down. I'm just saying diagonal line, right? You can use any mark you want, but just mark the bottom part of it so that your little line, when you score, can meet up with the other end of it. Of course, you can do this on the trimmer as well. Oops, I need to move it just slightly over. And if you mess it up, just move it slightly over. It's better to move it slightly over and fix it, because until you fold it, you're not really solidifying this line anyway. And you know you've done it well when you have, you know, this part meet up with that part. So it's a little bit, you just go like that. Just kind of use your little spatula to make this part meet up with that part. And then take your trim scissors. And if your little triangle got a little wonky at the end, see, sometimes it does, about every third time, I just went in there and went, doop, and lop off that tiny little bit of your triangle. So it's kind of like a perfect little tip. All right, tips and tricks all day long in the Papered Chef's channel. All right, so now we're going to make our little DSP pieces, and we'll get out some Delightfully Eclectic and use that as well, and cut a couple at once. So whether you're doing, oh wait, these are the packs I have for my kits. Oh, by the way, 5 of you, maybe 6 of you, did not get your kit yet. You ordered late, and then what happened is I didn't get to send them yet because I had to order another set of supplies. The rest of you got your kit, so the rest of you can follow along as soon as you get your kit. I'll be mailing it very soon. I think this one will be cute for the fresh freezer. This is Delightfully Eclectic. It's a really cool pack of paper, by the way. So I'm just going to get a few kinds. I need 1 kind here, 2, 3, 4. I need 4 kinds of paper. And I want them all to, so this one's going to be good for fresh freezer. I want fresh freezer to be in them or something that will match. Okay, that might be, oh, that one's really cute. I'm liking the hearts. I think the hearts would look nice with the pretty peacock. Oh, and this one would be nice at a diagonal angle. Or here, and this one. Oh, there's so many I can't decide. That one might not look good at an angle, like it is a triangle. So that might be, like this one will look good as a triangle at an angle. So, and this one, I'm not sure about the angle. So like, that's the only thing to consider is how they'll look at an angle. Oh, that's really cool too. But this one's not going to look good that side. I don't think the strawberries will look cute. You want small patterns. This is kind of cute. Oh, you know what? I need something for the inside to write on. So like this one might be perfect for the inside. Or which one? This one. You know, to write a message on inside the card, if we want to. But I think I can just use plain paper as well. Just looking for other sides. Okay, so you can see my decision process. I'm thinking this one for the inside. You know, different things you have to go through. So I'll cut these, and then we'll cut them with the other paper too. So we need 4-inch squares. We need a few of them. We need one. I mean, we need one here. I'm sorry, but this is right now I'm working with the fresh freezer paper. I need a 4-inch square here and a 4-inch square there that we're going to cut in half. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut 3 at once. Let's see. This is going to be the inside. I really want to use this paper. Like I said, I'm not sure how it's going to work on an angle, but we're going to try it. All right. You can cut 3 pieces of designer series paper at once. Maybe only 2 pieces of cardstock, but 3 pieces of designer series paper at once. Okay, 4-inch square. Okay, now you're going to take the one square, not this one, that's the inside of the card. Let's take these two squares, and you're going to put them on your line of your trimmer. And again, I think tape works well for this. Let me get a piece of washi tape. Just from sitting there, I did this while I'm watching TV, and it just seems to me like tape, especially when you're looking up and down with your eyeballs, checking out what's going on the, you know, while I'm binging Netflix or something, right? And I just like to put a little piece of tape there to hold them. And then I went like this, right? And I cut and I get the perfect triangles. Okay, so all these perfect triangles. Let's see how they look on this card. We'll just go ahead and glue them and see how they look at an angle. Okay, this one Okay. Nope. Nope. But there's no reason we can't make it fold a different way. Let's say we could. Nope. That one just doesn't look good in an angle. And even when I turn, well, when I put it up like that, it does. But when I lay it down flat, it doesn't. So I'm not going to use that pattern because this pattern is better. Because look at this pattern. It's just better because it looks better at an angle. Okay? So too bad I can't use that one. I mean, not that I can't, but just not for this particular purpose. I just don't think it's going to look right when it's flat in the card. So we're going to use some glue. Always use glue for this part because the glue is going to be more forgiving and you're trying to get your triangle to have a little bit of an outline on it, right? Like you want to, I kind of put it close to the middle and I want that 1/4 inch outline, right? You want to be able to put it kind of close to the middle of your line. It can have a little gap, but it's better to have a little outline there. That was just from a lot of experimentation. I was having a gap at the beginning, but it's just better to just kind of put it right on the line. All right, so let's do this. Let's say the hearts. I think the hearts, are going to really look cute over there on the right. So what I'm going to do for the hearts is I'm just going to go ahead and make a 1-inch strip. I'm just doing this part first. I'm doing a little 1-inch strip. Okay, it's still 4 inches high, but the reason I'm cutting it like that is because I want this little heart. See, it's the right color. I want that little heart to show in there. So I don't want to lop off this part. I want to lop off the top part. So 1 inch by 4. Don't worry, we'll write this down, and we're going to do it again. You're going to watch me make these cards. So that's going to go right there. Your 1-inch strip and nice little margin with the cute little pretty peacock heart showing. Oh, by the way, you can write little words with these. Okay, I'm going to try to use my left hand. I'm trying to favor my left hand and get better with it. And the only way to get better with it is to use it more. So I know it looks a little awkward, but hey, we're getting there. And anyway, because there's that little type page, if you want to write little messages, you can cut out the letters and write little messages. Okay, now this one I'm going to put here later, but we're going to stamp on it first. You need a light color so that you can stamp on it, right? That's why I picked a light color. Or you could, of course, use cardstock inside as well. All right, now we need another one. So let's see. We're gonna go for this one. This one will look good in an angle because it's stripes, right? So we'll do a 4-inch square. I like that side better, so I'm gonna go like that. And I know this is the Bright and Beautiful workshop, so you might be confused. You might be like, where's the Bright and Beautiful paper or the Beautiful Balloons? We're going to get to that paper in a minute. We'll call this our practice one. Practice run, I mean. Let's see. And I already know what paper works best for that because I've been doing so many of those cards. I'm up to about 13, and then I think I need 16. But I don't remember. I always make a couple extra. Yeah, see? That's just way better to put in an angle. All right, so I think I'm going to use this one, but it might use this one. Let's try them both. Okay. That's kind of straight up and down, you know, like it's okay with the green on the right side. But I'm just thinking that one might be a better one because I just think the green looks better than the Calypso Coral on the right side. So I'm gonna go with that angle. Aren't these cool for like Oktoberfest? We got the pretzels going on. Or like if you go to Disney and visit Epcot, like I recently did, and had a bratwurst and I had a Mickey pretzel. This will be a cute little background for a scrapbook page. My cousin does scrapbooks for us. She doesn't. I don't ever hardly do them. Okay. But I take a lot of pictures. All right, so. Okay, I'm pushing that over some. Like so. All right, so you got to take advantage of the different kinds of paper, right? The different patterns and all that. It's like so fun. So far, so good. Now, okay, we're good with that paper. You're going to cut all your shapes out of this paper. Your balloons and your things like that. This one, we don't even have to do all that with. We don't have to put all the, like, we can do other shapes with that, but we can still try a balloon. So now we're going to try our paper here. We're going to try this paper. All right. We need something for the inside. Okay, here's a good one for the inside. So this is going to be the inside of our card when I'm talking about the inside. See, this one really works well for the inside of a card, so we'll cut that paper. These are great for patterns. These little, any kind of things like that, colorful. Oh, here's one that's already cut. There we go. We can just use that one already. It should already be a 4-inch square. So there we go. All right, good. So now we need 4-inch squares. Now I'm using what's called the Bright and Beautiful Designer Series paper. And it goes with the Beautiful Balloons collection. So for the side, let's see. Nah, not going to use that for the side. We'll use something else for the side. All right, this is the inside, so we're going to put that over here with this one. And this is going to be a triangle, and this is going to be a triangle. So let's grab these two. They are 4 inches, and we're cutting them in diagonal. Because remember, that panel is 4 inches and a quarter. That's why we're cutting these in 4 inches to have that little margin. And I had a piece of washi tape, but it's gone, so we're just going to get another one. Make sure it's right in the groove of your trimmer. If you don't have a Stampin' Up! Trimmer, you're missing out because this thing's awesome. All right, so what I like to do is I like to take the really cute pattern because like this is going to show more when you stand up your card. I put the cuter pattern down here. See what I did? Now this one doesn't have a star yet. I tried to put the cuter pattern down here and then the pattern without as much cuteness in the back. That way when it stands up, you see this one because you're going to see this more when someone stands up your card. Then you're not going to see that one as much. So I put the cuter pattern in the front. So the cuter pattern to me is the little balloons, right? Or they're not balloons, they're dots. They're not balloons. Sometimes I just take my finger and I get a little, it doesn't really matter where you have glue on this, but as long as you kind of have it on the edges, the 3 tips, because that's the part you really want to stick. Again, I'm kind of putting it near the middle to have that 1-inch margin there. And then always kind of check it. Like this is how you check it. Sort of fold it and check it. I know there's a glare over there. My ring light puts a glare on everything. So let's just put some stuff over there so you don't see that glare. Alrighty, and let's keep going. We're going to put this piece here. Ooh, I like that piece. That's so cute. Let's see which one I like better. I do like this one, but it has a little smudge on it. Actually, I like that one too, but this one's nice because of contrast. Look at that cute lemon lime twist piece on there. Lemon lolly, lemon lime twist, just bright colors. Now this paper comes in a pack of 48. And you get 12 of each sheet, so you get, and they're double-sided, so you really get 24 different patterns. So cool. Love this DSP. And this month we have dollar days. So you get coupons. If you spend $50 at my store, you get a $5 coupon. The coupons are not good to use right away, like Walgreens. You know, you can walk in and use the coupons right away. I'm guilty of walking back in the store and using my rewards. But in this case, you have to wait till August to use your rewards. All right, now we need a little piece to go right there. And that I'm just going to look for my pile. I already have a pile. Bucket of crafty goodness. Okay, so I already have these strips made. This is the, oh, by the way, this die is awesome. It's used for the little tag we made last week. Too plain. Too much like that piece there. Too light. Okay, here, this is better. Here, this one's good. This is a good one. Because look how festive. Okay, I like that one. So you just pick a little strip of paper to put it there. 1 inch by 4 inches. Okay. Now we need to do, you don't put the other pieces inside there yet in the middle until you stamp on them. But I'm going to give you a little bit of measurements first. Then we're going to do some die cutting. And then we'll do some stamping. So we still have several sections left. We have to make the inside of the card. We got to make the little mechanism for it to stand up. Stuff like that. So let's write down some measurements. I'm going to move my catalog out of the way. So as you noticed, what I just showed you, you can make with any kind of card that you have, like any kind of materials that you have. You don't have to have exactly the materials I have. We've already talked about that part. And now we're going to talk about the DSP. Okay, so you need to cut the DSP, 4 inches by 4 inches, just a square, 4-inch square, times make 2 of those, right? And then one of those is going to be, you're going to cut it into triangles. So make 2, one for inside and one for outside, right? And then this piece, you need this piece, 4 inches times 1 inch, times you need one of those. Okay, so that's so far so good. That's all we've done. And now we need to do our die cutting and then our stamping. So die cutting sandwich, we have our base plate. This is our platform, the die cutting sandwich. Then we have our thin die adapters. Whenever we use metal dies, we need a thin die adapter, which is plate number 2. And then you need a plate number 3. And then you need your stuff that you're cutting. And then you need a plate number 3 on top. So let's cut out some. Now this is not, this part here, I'm just going to take a piece of white paper. And we're cutting, here, I can cut 2 of these at once. This is basic white paper. And I'm cutting out circles. This is not in your kit. This is not part of your, I mean, these are layering circles dies, which are now retired, unfortunately. We are now going to use the rest of this I'm going to cut with DSP, and we're going to use the beautiful balloons dies. These are the beautiful balloons dies, and I already have out the ones that you're going to want to use for decoration. You want the independent dies, not the ones that cut out stamped images. You want all these kinds of dies for your decorations because they cut out designer series paper. Take your little scraps of paper. You can cut through 2 layers at once, and just decide, like, this will make good balloons, right? And stars. So you put a couple pieces there. And just put the balloon on there. Okay, make some stars. Okay, make some little doohickeys for the bottom of your balloons, the little tassels. Make some more stars. Just use the scraps of your paper to do that. See, just like that. Cover it up and roll it through. I already have a whole bunch of these things cut for you in my bucket of crafty goodness. Oh, that's, by the way, here. Let's see what we can make with any of these scraps from the Delightfully Eclectic for a second. Let's see if we can't match up some of these. Wouldn't that make a cute balloon? Oh, I'll do that in a minute. I'll just do those in a minute because I don't want to make... Don't try to do more than 2 pieces of paper because then you get these little nibs sticking through. Little dots sticking through. All right, where's my top base? Here, top of it. Here we go. Top of the morning to you. I'm looking for the top plate. So then we can cut some other shapes for the other card. And you can, of course, use cardstock for any of the stuff you're doing. I just like to use coordinating packs of paper. So I always stamp on my shapes later. I do not I don't stamp happy birthday and then try to run it, put the circle on it, tape it, run it through. I just make myself a whole bunch of shapes that I need and go to town and cut them all. We'll go ahead and cut some more. That's what I do. And then I stamp on them later. Happy birthday. Okay, to this one, we're going to just pull off the dies, and you might need your little pokey tool for this. Like this is a take your pick tool to poke through the hole. See, isn't that nice? A nice textured balloon. And then these, oh, so cute. And some stars. There should be 2 of these. So pull them apart. Make sure you do that now so you don't forget because sometimes you forget. And I already have a whole bucket of stuff. So we'll put it in my bucket. We'll use some now. We'll use some later. You know, just, this is the die that I had lost, and I'm so glad I found it. It's only because my friend Kathy sent me this that I found it. Like, she let me borrow hers, and then I found it. That's how you find things. You borrow it from someone else, and then you'll find something. It's kind of, that's how it works. As soon as you don't need it anymore, you'll find it. But I'm glad I need it. Well, I do need it, but I'm saying glad I found it. It was just stuck to one of my magnets, one of my many magnets. That's what metal likes to do. It likes to stick to magnets. Okay, and poke out the little pieces. Okay, so good, you got the idea, and now we'll just do that again with the other paper to get some fun embellishments. And might even be able to get one more star out of this, see? But if I can't get one more star out of it, I might be able to get that little thing out of it. So I don't even throw this away yet. I might be able to get one more little tassel out of it. I'm just poking out the star. This star you don't really need, but it's a nice little stopper if you want to put 2 stoppers inside your card. A stopper meaning something to hold up your easel fold card. All right, let's see. This would make a cute balloon, but I think that would make a better balloon. And what else do we need for that card? We need balloons, a star. Huh, that would make a good star, but we can't make the star the same way. Okay, I think, I don't know. Let's try, that would make a good star. I'm just going to try it, see what happens. Okay, so we have, I got to find my big, this is my big star. Okay, and I'm just going to put a little tassel down there. Did I get the tassels out? Yes, I did. You must wonder how I get anything done when I lose so much. Here we go. It's right here. It's right there. All right, and we're going to roll that through. Get in there. It's rolling away. It might not make a good triangle for the card, but you just use your same scraps to make the pieces you need for your card. Now, do not use adhesive sheets, whatever you do. I gave you some adhesive sheets, but this is not the time to use adhesive sheets because we can't fully adhere the back of these. Let me just show you. See, we're only adhering half of these. So you don't want to use adhesive sheets behind these shapes. And this one I'm popping up with dimensionals. So if you do have adhesive sheets, that's great, but just not for this particular project. We're not turning these into stickers. We're popping this one up with dimensionals. I should have had a star. Here it goes. That's the color star. And we're popping, and these ones we're only adhering halfway. All right, so what you want is you want your tassel to stick to the balloon before you, and then you only need to adhere the back of the balloon. So go ahead and stick your tassel onto your balloon. And of course, we're going to use Wink of Stella and all that good stuff too. Wink of Stella is a glitter pen. Just squeeze out a little glue. And let's find another balloon too. I want to share the glue because I put a lot of glue on that. So let's see. I have a lot of already like balloons made already. Okay, here's a balloon I made earlier. So I'm going to use, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this balloon for my card. So because I already made it earlier, and I'm going to take, see how much, you don't need so much glue. I'm just sharing the glue. This one is from Delightfully Eclectic. I'm putting the tassel, or did I put it beneath? Oops, I put the glue on the wrong side. Duh. Okay, you need to put the glue on this part of the tassel because the tassel goes under the balloon, right? So put the glue on the top of the tassel like that, underneath the balloon like so. And of course I put way too much glue on there but squeeze it and let it dry and everything. And then you got to move it around so it's kind of hidden behind there. See how it's sticking out? You got to hide it behind there. Oops. All right, good. Let me get rid of this. Let me make some room here. That's good. Make some room. And now we need to put something on this tassel. Let me get rid of the glue on the front. Okay, extra scraps of paper. We need a tassel. The idea is just contrast, right? So whatever you do, just have contrast behind whatever tassel you pick. Here, I'll use that one. I'm not even sure what color it's going on yet, but let's find the card. Okay, it's going on a light color. So this wouldn't work because it wouldn't really blend in, right? So this one will work better on that. So this is going to work good. This balloon, it'll work good on there because of the contrast. So we'll go ahead and put some glue on there. That's still too much glue. Okay, hold that on there, but don't let it stick to your mat. All right, good. Now I'm gonna put Wink of Stella all over everything. My stars. We're gonna use that star. Put that balloon away. Okay, let's see what other star I'm going to use. Got to look at this side. Okay, that'll be a cute star because it contrasts. We can use that side of the star. I'm just seeing what else I have here. I may already have some in here. In my bucket of crafty goodness. I've been cutting out so many things. Yeah, here we go. This might be good. I think that'll be better. See what I mean? For contrast. So I'm going to use that star and these two balloons. Okay, so you get all your stuff you need, and then you need two little balloons. Two little balloons for the inside of our cards. And I have loads of these little balloons. Oh, and you can also just make them out of white paper like I've done and color them any color you want. But I already have loads of them. So, see, I think this is going to work on both cards because this will work with the Pretty Peacock. It's Lost Lagoon, a complementary color of Pretty Peacock. So that'll work on the Delightfully Eclectic card. And for this card, maybe, I thought my inside of my card was like a pinkish color. Yes. So here, that'll look good for the inside of that. And then this one will look good for the inside of this one. So these are going to be our little stoppers to hold up our cards, right? You need a little balloon stopper. And then you need your Wink of Stella and just go to town and just make sparkles on everything. Oh, I couldn't have cut that star better if I tried. Look at that shape is all like, the square is like perfectly in the middle of the star. And that was not even intentional. All right, so putting glitter on everything. All right, shake it up, baby, now. I need to refill my Wink of Stellas. Or break out a couple new ones. I sometimes refill them, sometimes I break out new ones. Oh, you're stuck on that over there. I'm just going to get the silicone mat and see if I can't squeeze some of this out. Sometimes I just squeeze it, and then I don't know if there's anything left in there to squeeze, though. You hear that? It's sounding hollow. Let me see. I'm sitting here with bunches of these, but these ones have like colors. This is going to be a colored one, but I know there's something in here at least because I refilled it. Yep, it's okay that it's a colored one. It'll just add more charm to my balloon. I'm just going to make it darker and colored, and then I'm just going to color the bottom. So to color your Wink of Stella, I have a video on that. So you can use like your different, like a re-inker. It's called a re-inker. And you put a couple drops of ink and a couple drops of alcohol, and I did it. Oh, I like how it's colored on this one. Fun stuff. All right, so now we are going to do the stamping. So we have all our Wink of Stella done, and we're going to do the inking and stamping. And we'll leave this here to show you how to just color a balloon. Oh, excuse me, sneezing. So you need your circles. Let's just flip this over, like so. And you need to ink them before you do the happy birthday. We'll use Pretty Peacock for both of the happy birthdays because Pretty Peacock's a coordinating color in both sets. Okay, we'll use that. Now, we need something that's going to go with the other one. So we know the Delightfully Eclectic uses crushed curry, right? Because that's what this is. So I'm going to whip out some crushed curry and use that for the bottom of this one. But I'm going to use Lemon Lime Twist. And I hope you're following. It'll all come together that I'm using two different packs of paper right now. So I can't use the same colors on both packs of paper. They just don't coordinate. So I'm going to use Pretty Peacock for both to make the sentiment. But to make the little part where you ink around the bottom, I'm going to use Lemon Lime Twist for one. I'm just putting a little Lemon Lime Twist on here on my stamping block. And this is what I mean by inking up the bottom, like so. Okay? I'm using Lemon Lime Twist for one. I'm using crushed curry for the other, so that the colors coordinate. I think it's crushed curry. All right, so let's see. It actually could be Bumblebee, but Bumblebee's retired, so it has to be crushed curry. So let's see. Taking out the crushed curry. And a little stamping block. I'm just grabbing a different blending brush that hopefully won't is like for oranges and yellows. Tap, tap, tap. All right. Yeah, there's a little bit of orange stuck on there from before, so it might be a little orangey. It looks more orange than, it looks like more pumpkin pie than crushed cherry, but that's because of my blending brush. All right, so either way, we're not worried about it. We're gonna now do the happy birthday with Pretty Peacock on both of those. And the happy birthday is from the Beautiful Balloons stamp set. We're landing here soon. We're on the final stretch of this card. Tap, tap, tap in the Pretty Peacock. Happy birthday. It came out nice. Tap, tap, tap. Happy birthday. Hold it for a few seconds. Lift up. If it gets stuck because of the friction, just tap it off. Don't try to slide it off. Don't try to pull it off. Just tap it off so it doesn't mess up anything. Tap, tap, tap. Hold for 3 seconds. Lift, tap, and we're good. Now let's put all this stuff over here. And now we're going to do, oh, we need celebrate, sorry. We need celebrate your special day. We need the inside. I think it's time for a celebration. So we'll just use Pretty Peacock again for the inside. I think it's time for a celebration. I'm just going to use a giant stamping block just because it's clean, right? So we need that. And what we're doing is Pretty Peacock, and we're going to get this piece of paper, right? And we're going to put it over here. I think it's time for celebration. So we're going to tap, tap, tap. Test it over here. It does look blurry, but that's only because me shaking my hand. Okay, there we go. Just make sure we get a good stamped image. It might not be stamping right because it's not really flat. There we go. So now I'm going to stick that right there. Hold it for a few seconds. Okay, so you want that on the bottom, and we're going to do one over here for this card as well. Let's put that up on that. Oops, it got a little bit of, I think I wanted to use this paper anyway, so I'm just gonna make myself a 4-inch square from this paper because it's kind of looking like a library card. It looks kind of cute like that. It's only paper. Oh, look, there was the offending gem. There was a little gem there. Wonder if that's what it was, or if there's just something on my stamp. Nope, there was nothing on my stamp. It was like a gem under there. Okay. Now, ink, of course, absorbs better like onto basic white. So if you're saying, well, it doesn't stamp as nice, it doesn't stamp as nice as it does on basic white cardstock. So you need a little thingy for your balloon, the string for your balloon. So go get this little string here. And I'm going to use Berry Burst over here. And I guess I'll use something else that'll work with the other one. Calypso Coral. There we go. Okay, all these little things matter. Like, you know, when you're trying to coordinate your colors. Because if something doesn't look right, it's probably because you didn't coordinate the colors. So I'm just going to try to coordinate the colors here. So tap, tap, tap. The little balloon. Now for this, you need a mask, meaning a mask is just a piece of scrap paper that you're putting right there so that when you put your little balloon hand, like the balloon, or put it right down there actually, make sure the string of the balloon doesn't touch like the letter N, okay? So that's your little mask. You're just putting a piece of paper or a sticky note there. And that's over there. And then we're going to put this one, we're going to use Berry Burst because it coordinates with this one we're making. So now I do need to wipe it off. Let's get the sticky note. Not sticky note. Baby wipe. Tap, tap, tap. Berry Burst. Okay, it's a little juicy. Well, it's a lot juicy. Put that on there. And just stick that down here, the little mask. And I'm putting the string for the balloon on there. So now we can put all of our cards together. Get out your can use glue or Seal Plus adhesive. Let's come in for the landing. We're going to assemble our projects if we can find them. All right. we did all this work, and now let's look for our cards that we made. They're not over there. Okay, here's one of the cards. That's one of them. At least we found one we can assemble. So this is called Beautiful Balloons Designer Series paper. So I'm going to put the Beautiful Balloons piece inside here. Right? I don't need to use liquid glue now because I don't have to worry about, like, it's more for the triangles you want to use liquid glue. This one is okay to just use rolling adhesive. So give yourself a little 1/4 inch margin around the whole thing. This gap will be covered up when the card shuts anyway, so that's going to be like so. And now we are still looking for that other card that we made earlier. Here it is. Here it is. So for this card, we're going to use this piece here. This is now Delightfully Eclectic, just so you're jiving with what we're doing. This is another, we're doing the same card, different paper. But some of the colors were the same in both. Like, for example, Pretty Peacock was in both collections. Let's see what other color. Fresh Freesia is in both the Beautiful Balloons and the Delightfully Eclectic paper. So these colors are the same. Okay, so now some more tips and tricks. We're going to take a dimensional. And you definitely have to use a dimensional. Don't try to do this flat. You want to definitely use a dimensional. And you want to take your balloon, and you want to put your balloon, put your dimensional down, right? And then put your balloon like so, right? Now this is your little stopper. And because it's high up, you can go like this, and that is how your card stands up. Awesome. Okay, now we're going to find the other one we made. This was this balloon here. And I chose a balloon because when I tried it with the star, of course, the star, depending on how it was pointing, like, it was hard to be a stopper because sometimes all you had was a little point holding up the whole card, and it made the end of the star get crushed. The balloon distributes the shape better. So, like, it's just easier for you to use as a stopper. But, I mean, I did experiment, and I just have it at a little bit of an angle there, just because I wanted the little string to go over there. So there's how to, like, put that up there. And now my tips and tricks for making these stand up. So we're going to make the two balloons. So you need a piece of paper. Okay, so you take a piece of paper like this. And this was just after a lot of experimentation. So I want the balloons. Let me kind of show you where we're going with this. We want this to be like this, right? But we don't want that part to have adhesive on the back. But it was hard to get the angle right. So what I did is I put a little piece of paper there like so. And I put the balloon where I wanted it, like so. Okay? And here's my little tip for you. So get it straight. Now take your piece of paper. Watch this. And flip it over. Right? Now keep your paper right there and go like this with your adhesive. Keep your paper there. This is important. Keep your paper there. Bend your paper like so. Right? Bend your triangle. This was after doing so many of these, I was like, I figured out an easier way. And now get it on there and check this out. Rub it. Look, no adhesive on that side. No adhesive, and the balloon is like right where it needs to be. And you don't need glue down on the bottom part. Okay, so cool. And now we'll do that balloon over here too. Same trick. Lay it there. Okay, lay it there where you want it. Okay, let's see. Flip your paper over. I'm just going to do it like that so you can see it. So you see it better. Flip it over. Put adhesive on it. Glue. It doesn't matter what you put on it. Glue or rolling adhesive. It's just that the glue, it's only on that part. But keep your paper there. Because it helps you as a guide. The paper helps you as a guide. Bend this. Okay. Good. Give it a rub. Okay, cool. Now we need our stars. And for these, you know, just a couple dimensionals. You can pop those up however you want because they're going to be in the middle of the section back here. But before you would hear them, you can kind of just eyeball where your happy birthday is going to go. Like eyeball that. And then put your star there. So don't adhere that yet, but we're going to, I put my star there first. Kind of like so. Okay, I just kind of look at where my happy birthday is going to go, and then, oh, that's not going to be contrasted enough. Let's see what we can do about that. Let's flip the other side. Nope. Let's see if we can find a coordinating star. Or if we have to make another one. Lemon lolly. I'm just going to make my lemon lolly into crushed curry and see if that'll work. It's kind of orangey now with a little bit of stripes behind it. I just don't want to have to cut another star. My hands have had enough die cutting for a while now. All right, let's see. A little bit of glitter. See, that was a quick, easy fix. I didn't consider that this does not contrast with that. So like I can't use that star. I can use it, just not on that card. In fact, I can use it probably, a good place to use it would be right up here. So I think I'll just use it inside because I've already cut it. So I'm just going to go ahead and use it inside the card. Make it more festive, right? Put it up here in the corner. But not on the outside because it doesn't contrast. So we're going to put it on the inside. And now we're going back out there and we're putting this one here with a couple dimensionals, but we're going to leave this here for a second to see where that goes. And stay tuned because I'm going to show you all these cards I made, the whole pile, and some other projects I made as soon as I say hi to you guys. I was in my zone. I was in my crafting zone. Okay, so that is going right there. And now we're going to, let me just move. I just got to move all these things. Whenever I show you projects, I have to move everything that has ink on it or it gets all over my projects. All right, where was I? We just need the final stretches, putting that same little trick again, but with the happy birthday. So the happy birthday is going to go there about halfway through. So if you have a circle, it's about, you want half the circle, and then half the circle is going to have ink on it. But the problem I kept having was which half of the circle. It's at an angle, see? So I just did that paper trick, and I was like, oh, after struggling and trying to eyeball where to put the glue, I started doing this little paper trick, and it was like, that made it so much easier. So they say necessity is the mother of invention. Voila, that is our delightfully eclectic, happy birthday, beautiful balloons card. And now we're going to see the bright and beautiful balloons card. So again, make the circle about halfway. Flip it over. Bend it up there. And voila, the bright and beautiful. Bright and beautiful diagonal easel fold cards. Dun, dun, dun. Let me move all this stuff here. I hope you liked that project as much as I did because it's really fun. Okay, Melody saying remember to like. Thank you, Melody. Hello, Marlene. Nice to see you. Yvonne. Oh, Yvonne found a fellow friend from New York. I'm sorry, Janet found a fellow friend from New York. Hello, Vicky from Arizona. Teresa's from New York. So Teresa and Janet are exchanging New York stories here on the chat. Okay, hello, Linda from StampCut and Create. And Betty and Lynn. Oh, you like the delightfully eclectic paper, Lynn? That is so cool. Hello, Sherry. Hello, Connie. Hello, Phil. I'm just getting my paper, and I'm going to stand these up as I'm talking. And I'm just going to kind of show you all these different ones. Notice how I put lots of Wink of Stella on these. Now, what you can do when your balloons are not contrasting a lot, like, this is kind of a dull paper, right? Because it has white lines in it. Take your little blending brush, right? And use some lemon lime twist on those balloons. Okay? So here's another one. Notice how they're all different. You can use this piece of lemon lolly in the inside. Sometimes I used this color here. This is the same color as that's Berry Burst. Sometimes I use It's Time for a Celebration in Berry Burst. Then I would use Pretty Peacock for the string. Then when I use Pretty Peacock for this bottom, I would use Berry Bush for the string. Okay, here's another one. I'm just showing you all these different ones. This one needs a star. See, I didn't put the star on that side yet. You can use the little stars as well. See how every card is different? Lots of fun here. All right, so Phil is here, and Phil is here from Florida, and hello, Connie from Kansas, Sherry from Kentucky. I hope you really like this project, and you can add your little bling to it. I'm personally not, because I don't want it to poke through the card, the envelopes and stuff, because you already have like it's a thick card already because of that. This little layer of dimensional inside the card, and then there's dimensionals outside the card. So I'm not using bling as well, but you can always just use bling, meaning a few little pearls here to hold up your card. Now, sometimes I've seen people say that it's an easel card, but everybody is getting this. They're on my team. They're like they're my Stampin' sisters from a team that we all belong to. When you join my team, the Papered Chefs, you also belong to the Beehive team. The Beehive team is the one that does the swaps, right? So they already are demonstrators. So I'm not going to write, this is an easel fold card. They are going to just figure it out because it's a fun fold card. Isn't that cool in the back too? But this is a nice card to put on your mantle, or something like that, and you give it to somebody and they can stand it up. Or it's a nice thing for a place card. Like if you have, like, you're trying to give everybody something when they come to one of your events, you could say, you could put their names on it and stand it up, and then they pick it. Hey, awesome. You can do this for her card, Betty. And I bet you, and I know Betty does cards all the time. So Betty, I bet you already have a bunch of cards like this, or like this already cut, not with the paper on them. That's how I end up doing this particular one, because I had so many cards cut like this, and I was like, oh, I need to cut a lot of cards. How can I turn all these into easel cards? Or into a fun fold. So that's kind of how this ended up. Man, I have a lot of these to show you. I didn't realize I had so many. I didn't realize I made so many. Maybe I did make enough. Well, between the ones I just made now, I need 16. So anyway, there they are. Thank you, Teresa. I'm glad you like these. And 2 more. There's one. Ooh, look, we can make a card house. So you could do little things like with these, like placeholders, or like, and I need a star on this one. So there's finishing touches I need to do. But that's that. So this is part 4. Now I'm going to show you what we made in parts 1, 2, and 3, and what we're going to make in another part of the series. All right, so what we made in this is part 4, so I'm going to go backwards, okay? Backwards, in part 3, we made these. So if you missed it, these are called, and you can see we have a lot of fun birthday stuff going on here. These are called stand-up. Well, I have no room to stand them up right now, but trust me, they stand up. These are called the stand-up double fold treat pouches. So we've made double fold treat pouches on this channel before. So these are stand-up double fold treat pouches. Thank you, Rose. I'm glad you like these. And you can use them as gift card holders, Ghirardelli chocolate holders, etc. And here's a couple more. So we inked around the edges with lemon lime twist. You can put tea in one side, a little biscuit in the other. These tea and biscuits and ribbons, they came in your kit. So you just use a variety of tea and biscuits and ribbons. I ran out of this ribbon here because Stampin' Up! Also ran out of the ribbon. Or not ran out, just says currently unavailable. That's what it says on the website. It's called the Ribbon Trio Combo Pack or something. Ribbon Combo Pack. But you can use lemon lime twist from the animals from the Zany Zoo from last time, because that's Zany Zoo, and it's lemon lime twist is in both of these. Or you can use glittered organdy, which is my favorite ribbon, right? All right, so that was number 3, what we did. Number 2, or did we do this in number 1? Nope, we did this number 1. In part 1 of the series, we made these cards. These are congratulatory cards. I think these balloons need some Wink Stella on them as well. Maybe that gem was the gem that came off of this card, because there's one of my gems fell off. But these are tinsel. These are called the 4-pack tinsel gems. And I'm missing one on this card. So you put 3, like if you use bling, put 3 on there. There's a little piece of Lost Lagoon that's embossed on these cards. Yay you. And then inside, So Thrilled for You. These are made with lemon lime twist. And it's just a fun designer series paper card. So check those out. That was part 1. Okay, and then I already showed you what we made in part 3. Those were those treat pouches. And then this is part 2. And no, I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know. Was this part 2? Yeah, this was part 2. We did these scalloped gift holder boxes. Congratulations, gift card holder boxes. So we inked around the edges. We decorated with balloons. We stamped, used the little pieces that came in your kit. And this is all just using this really fun, bright and beautiful paper. I have more examples to show you, which I will in the future, because we're going to keep on working on the series all month long during the month of July. Okay, so if you're interested in kind of getting some stuff for next month, I'll just tell you a little bit about next month. Well, no, I'm sorry. I don't have it right here, not on my table, but we're using Hey Chuck. So next month's workshop series in August is Hey Chuck. Last month in our card club, we used circle sayings. We're going to continue to use the sentiments this month as we create bird's eye view cards. So coming up on my channel, and I don't mean coming up like tonight, but coming up soon, this coming week on my channel, we're going to be doing the bird's eye view card club cards. Okay, we're going to be making the card club cards next week. And maybe following week too, if it takes us more than, it's going to take us a couple videos to make the bird's eye view cards. And then next month's card club is going to be based on sea turtles. So I hope you join in. Just go to the link in the description if you want to get one of my really fun and unique kits to go along with these projects. That's only if you're in the US, of course. But if not, you just follow along with whichever materials you have. So I really liked this project tonight because we got to see two different styles. I don't know where it went now. Two different styles of how you can take the same exact patterns and make two different style cards. Super, super fun. Here we go. So you can see how you can use your delightfully eclectic designer series paper and how you can make the same card with whichever supplies you have, and how fun that is to see how coordinating colors really matter. That's one of the great things about Stampin' Up! Is our color coordination. So that's all for now. This is the Paper Chef. Have a great day. And thank you for being here on this late night, Friday night, fun fold crafting session. Bye-bye.